Finally, we are live. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We was having some technical difficulties today, but I think we are good. So let me give you guys just a second to hop on, um, because the tech was teching today. The tech was teching today. So I hope you guys have had an amazing Sunday so far. I have had an extremely productive day. And so I wanted to jump on here and share my favorite things with you guys today. I want to share with you my top 12. I really have more than that, but marketing books. But all right, hold on one sec. I want to make sure that everybody is getting the message. So if you can hear me, type number one in the chat, type number one in the chat if you can hear me and if you can see our flyer on the screen. All righty, okay. All right, so let me make sure everybody got the message. All right, so I just sent you guys a text as well. So everybody should be able to jump on. If you're watching this in the replay, make sure you go ahead and hashtag replay as well. There we go. Hey, Gigi. So all of our APs and neighbors should be joining us in a second. Let me know how your Sunday has been going so far. I know it's been like a lot of work for you guys to do, but hey, if you want big results, you got to do some big things. All right, so as you guys again are joining, if you're watching this in the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. But for all of you who are new, this is your very first time watching me live on here. If this is your very first time joining our challenge, I am your girl, Katrina Nicole, and I am your favorite AP and the host of the Never Give Up 10-Day Marketing Challenge. And so we have made it to day 6. We have made it to day 6, and I'm super excited about it. And because of that, we do not do lives or do our 6 a.m. lives on the weekend. So you guys can actually have time to rest, because I know our 6 a.m.s are like rigorous for some of you guys, but also just so that you guys can embrace your homework, the action items that we have been giving you guys, giving you some time to do work, because I know some of you work a 9 to 5, you're a whole entrepreneur, you are a mother or father, you have to do after school activities. On top of all that, you're getting up at 6 o'clock with us in the morning and you have been doing this work. So we wanted to make sure that we gave you a little bit of time off so you could process everything, but also do the work. If you have been doing the work, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat that you have been doing the work. Let us know. And I'm also making sure I'm on the phone as well, making sure that we are all live and that we are all good. Because listen, it was tripping a little bit today, y'all. I never had 20 minutes of 20 minutes of tech issues like that, not on something simple. Okay. Awesome. Hey, Shantae. Hey. So again, if you watch this in the replay, make sure you hashtag replay. For those of you who are tuning in live, make sure you say hello. Hey, Angie say, yep, she's doing the work. Hey, Lakeisha. So I cannot wait to share these books with you guys today because they were game changers for me. But again, I also don't want to start talking over some of you guys' heads, because some of y'all, this is your very first time watching us live here. You got your emails laid or whatever the case may be. But you are attending the Never Give Up 10-day marketing challenge. It is 10 days of us sharing marketing strategies, sharing the things that have worked for us, just sharing things from a different perspective, sharing marketing mindsets. We've been going over all of that over the last 10 days. And so we're on day 6. And so, hey neighbors, hey APs. Okay, there we go. Now I see you guys coming all in. I was trying to stall to make sure I ain't start without y'all. But for those who don't know, AP means accountability partners. So we have a couple different communities out here. In one community, we call each other accountability partners because we literally partner with each other some way, shape, or form to help each other become our best selves, right? That's what we do on that particular front. And on the other side, we have a business community. In the business community, we call each other neighbors. So welcome AP and neighbors to the Never Give Up 10-day marketing challenge. And so what I wanted to do, I can't turn cameras on today, but we are on day 6. Again, we were off on the weekend. So what I still wanted to do is pop up. I want y'all to let y'all know I was still here, especially for our VIP viewers, that we haven't gone anywhere. We've been working behind the scenes to make sure the last 4 to 5 days or so has still been super impactful for you. All right. So we're on day 6 and I'm your favorite AP and accountability partner, Katrina Nicole. Yep. That is Nicole. That's your very first time hearing it. It is not Nickel. Okay. It's Nicole. So make sure you remember that. But the Never Give Up 10-day marketing challenge is simply a challenge where myself and some of my friends, industry gurus or just industry experts or individuals who have a different perspective that I believe can assist you on your marketing journey. I've seen so many people struggling with marketing or what they believe marketing was, but really isn't. And it has hindered them from achieving a level of success in their business. So much so to where I physically saw them ready to give up. And it did something to my spirit. It hurt me to my heart. And I just had to do something about it. And so that's why we're here. We talk about things from marketing strategies all the way to content and mindset. And so if you have been attending all 6 days, if you have made it all 6 days, if you have been here with us this whole entire time, let me know. Let us know in the chat. Let us know in the chat that you have been here with us. All right. Let me know. Let me know. Now, today is very, very simple, you guys. You don't have a lot of work to do. You don't have a lot of that. All right, so don't get afraid. Be like, oh gosh, she's giving us something else. But I did want to share my fave marketing books with you guys. I did want to share my fave marketing books. And the reason why was because a lot of the things I'm teaching you, sharing with you, or educating you on did not come from a marketing class. It did not come from me paying for somebody's top-notch marketing course or anything like that. It came from me. It came from me doing the work. You know, I heard this one entrepreneur say years ago, probably I think this was around 2016, and I'll never forget her saying this. You know, she said she used to always hear people saying, well, I don't know how to sell anything, or I don't know how to market anything, or I don't know how to do this, and I don't do that. I don't know how to do that. And the first thing she said to them was, well, how many books you read on that particular topic? And she said 9 times out of 10, the person would have said, well, I haven't read one, or I only read one. And she was saying, you can't sit there and say you don't know how to do something, and you, especially if you know you need it. If you know for a fact you need it, how dare you sit there and say you don't know how to do something when you haven't even tapped into a simple resource as a book to help you expound on that particular topic. You know, a lot of times we want instant gratification. A lot of times we want to just do, get one ebook, see one post, or do, learn one topic, and then wonder why we don't know or we're not successful in that particular thing. And so when she said that, it always stuck to me. Now watch this. It didn't really, I heard it and it stuck to me, but it really didn't click until one day I had a speaking engagement. If you guys can hear me, if you can hear me well, if you're listening, drop a number 2 in the chat. Let me know. Let's make sure everything is still connected, because I'm telling you, I had some tech difficulties, right? So it didn't hit me until one day I was asked to speak at a prominent speaking platform with some amazing Black women, educated women who got masters. I mean, they're doing some amazing things in the industry. And I was so honored to go speak at this place. And y'all, I'm not even gonna give y'all the full story, but I just want to let y'all know I was humbled very, very quickly when these women, I was on the platform with these women, and these women start to talk, and these women start to command the room, and these women just start to speak and add so much value to that room. And to me, when I started talking, I sounded ignorant as heck, okay? I sounded like I wasn't supposed to be on that stage. I sounded like, where did they find this girl? Because she is not on that same type of time. And I just felt so embarrassed. I felt like every time I opened my mouth that the audience heard wonk, 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 wonk. Have you guys ever been in a space like that where somebody was talking and you like, I really don't want to hear what they got to say? Like, let me get the mic back to the other people. You know, have you ever been in a room to where you was like, that person is boring. They are boring the heck out of me. Now, did anybody really say that to me verbatim? No. Is that how I felt? Yes. But were people checking for me after that event? No. Did the other people that was on stage have a line? Yes. So there were so many clues. I want y'all to type the word clues in the chat. Type the word clues in the chat. Even if you're watching the replay, type the word clues in the chat. Wow. Nobody said that to me directly. There were so many clues to show that I was not a valuable force, entity, expert, or however you want to call it, in that room that particular day. And it did something to me. So number one, it humbled me, because you can't be out here saying you're this coach, you're this entrepreneur, you are this such and such, you're such a boss, and you are doing all these shoots and you just post all these things, and you cannot add value to the rooms that you are going into. And so I was so embarrassed, and I made a vow that once I left that room that day, that I would never walk into another room, get on another stage, get in front of anybody else, and cannot add value in no type of way. I refused to open my mouth. From that day forward, I had refused to open my mouth and sound ignorant ever again. Ever again. Okay. So from that day forward, I started reading books. Now, how many of you guys have ever said, I don't like to read? Reading is not my thing. Because that was me. I always said, oh, I don't like reading. I don't like reading books. I used to say it, and I used to say it loud and proud, bold as heck. And let's be real. Y'all know we neighbors, we're APs, we're real, right? We're real about where we are, because you have to first be real with yourself. You first have to take 100% responsibility for who you are, where you are, before you can do anything else. And so I had to be real with myself. And that's what I want y'all to do too. And I said, self, you always talking about you don't like reading. So that's why when you pick up a book, it takes you a year to read it. Yep, it took me a year to read certain books. And that was horrible, right? And from that day forward, I opened my mouth and I said, I love reading. I love reading. I love reading. I just kept saying it until it became a real thing in my life. I literally manifested loving books. I promise you, I couldn't get through one. And so I started reading. And what I did was I started reading where I was. I want y'all to type that in the chat. Read where you're at. Read where you're at. So I started reading where I was at that moment. So if I was struggling with marketing, I started reading about marketing. If I was struggling with copywriting, meaning, and not like copywriting, like where people protect their writing. I mean, like copywriting, like WRITING, that type of copywriting, meaning like being very intentional about your words, the words that you speak and communicate to your audience, to your target audience, to your ideal client, that type of copywriting. Okay. I would start reading books on that. If I felt like I was horrible with storytelling, I'll start reading books on storytelling. If I was horrible at websites, I'll start reading books on websites. So the girl, you're looking at someone who couldn't stand reading, who didn't like reading, and only read one book a year, if that, now can say she read about 30 to 50 books out of the year. Yeah, I'm that girl. So in this a matter of years, I started absorbing so many different things because, again, I refused to be the ignorant chick in the room, the ignorant Black girl in the room, the one that's talking about she's an entrepreneur and she helped all these people, but she can't even read a book herself. I had refused to be that person in the room. So let me know in the chat, do y'all refuse to be the ignorant person in the room? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Because if you can't be around me, because y'all got to understand, we've been waking up every morning together. We have been hanging out. Some of you guys are in some of my other communities. We hang out together. Sometimes you hear my voice or I hear your voice more than we hear some of our family and friends' voices. We hang out together. So that means if we hang out together, that means we have to be in alignment with our values and our beliefs and how we roll. So I wouldn't want you to hang out with me if I'm on an ignorant street. And so that means I don't need to hang out with you if you refuse to find ways to better yourself daily. So if y'all picking up what I'm putting down, drop some dollar signs. But more importantly, if you agree with me, type I agree in the chat. Type I agree in the chat. Because a lot of y'all names, y'all are a part of our community. And again, we work together, we pray together, we move and shake together. So that means we have to be on some type of time that's very, very similar, heading in a certain direction. And if you don't get down like that, then hey, you might want to rethink who you're around, right? So I totally agree. And so what I'm going to share, I have read several marketing books. I'm still reading more. And so I'll share more as time goes on, but I do want to share some of the marketing books that I started with, some of the ones that opened my eyes. And not only that, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about, sorry about that, why I like all these books and why I'm suggesting them to you. Okay. Now, to each his own. Every book may not be for you. Every book may not be for you, but you have to decide which ones will be, okay? But what I also believe, though, is if you start reading where you are, the books will be relevant for you, okay? So I'm going to start sharing. If you're ready, go ahead and type ready in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and get started. You are so welcome, Selena. I love all of my agrees. So I only had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 agrees, 5 agrees? Oh, no, I got more. Okay, I see it now. Because I was about to say, oh, listen, Linda. But I see it now. So one of the things I also did, y'all know we always theming up things and we're always thinking about ways to make things more easier for you guys. And again, you don't have to do this. It's totally up to you because everybody reads differently. Some people have less on their plate. Some people have more on their plate. But if you were really, really struggling with marketing and you wanted to start mastering it just a bit more, do 12 months of marketing. Do 12 months of marketing books. You know, again, that's just only if that's where you are and that's what you're feeling like to do, but do 1 book a month and see where you are in the next 12 months. And if you decide to do that, I would love to know what that would look like for you. Okay. So 12 books. So the first book for me is not really a marketing book, but it kind of helped me with marketing. It's so weird. And this is for anybody who is multi-passionate, multi-talented, and don't know how to or refuse to focus on one thing. Because sometimes marketing is about figuring out how to focus on one thing. It's not saying that you're going to neglect everything else. It's not saying that you're not going to ever do all of your dreams and goals and the things that you envision. It's not saying any of that. But what it's saying is, which is what I love about this book, I want y'all to type the word domino in the chat. Domino, you know, like they play dominoes. I want y'all to type domino in the chat, the word domino. What I love about this book is that it helped me because y'all can tell I'm one of those multi-passionate people. And when somebody told me to focus on one thing, I was like, no. Like I felt the type of way. I felt like he was telling me to give up one of my babies, right? But reading this book helped me understand that it's not that you're giving up a child, giving up your vision. It's showing you how to strategically do it to where it allows room for all of your visions to flow. But what happens is if you focus on everything, you focus on nothing and you get nothing done. And so this book, the one thing, helped me with shifting my mindset to find the domino in my life that knocks everything down so everything happens. And that's what this book did for me. I remember that's the one thing I remember. It was like, what's a domino? Out of all of these 10 things that you want to do, what is the one thing out of all of these things that you want to do that's going to open up the door for everything else to happen? Did y'all hear that? What is the one thing that you can do now that's going to open up the door for all the other things to happen eventually? And that's what this book did for me. It made me figure out a focus on the domino. Okay. So that is a really, really good book. It's good all the way around. It taught me so much about leadership, entrepreneurship, all of that. But again, remember, it's not a marketing book, but it did help me when it came to marketing. All right. So it was really, really good. And some of you guys need to start there. The next book is Building a Story Brand. Listen, well, let me pause real quick, because some of you guys are trying to write all this down. Some of you are literally trying to take all the notes, which I don't mind, but remember, we do have a replay. We do have a replay. Okay. So you got to replay, but more importantly, y'all know you, girl. You know who I am. Y'all know I have this already typed up for you, right? You know, I already have all the links to all the books already established and ready for you. And all you got to do is click, right? Let me know. If y'all know me, y'all know I have that. Let me know in the chat if y'all know that your girl already got you covered. Yeah, I already got you covered. So don't be trying to find the links online yourself and all of that, because you're going to pick the wrong version and all of that. Your girl already got it, got you together, and you're going to receive it right after this session. Okay. Now back to our session. So Building the Story Brand is one of my favorite books because it's the most simple, practical marketing book it is out there, and it focuses on the right things. Now, is it like the big, broad book? No. But what this book does is it helps a beginner find focus on the right things when it comes to marketing. Clinton said, we know. Shawnee said, I know you got me. You're welcome, Stephanie. The person said, of course, that's my coach. Look, that's my PJ. All right. So for all those who participated, I think on day 3, when it came to one-liners, this book aligns with that. That person, that video I showed you guys, Donald Miller, he is the author of this book. So this book directly aligns with the video and the exercises we did on day 3. And y'all saw how practical and how simple he shared his ways of doing things. So this book fully aligns with that. And when I say it's good from beginning to end, this is one of the first books I read, and it made everything click for me. And one of the things that stood out for me was he talked about something, or he shared about an area about noise. I want y'all to type the word noise in the chat. Noise, 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 noise. And that was the thing that stuck out to me the most. He shared that a lot of times when we're doing all the things and we think we're doing something, right? Because we're like, oh, I'm a this, I'm a that. I got this, I got that. I help her, I help him. You have all these different hats on. And he said, not that, listen, we're not knocking your talent, but when you're not communicating to the right person, the right thing they need to hear at that moment, and you're communicating all the things they don't need, you're creating what we call noise in their brain. And I said, you know what? Because I was one of the people that be like, oh, I do taxes, I do nails, I do hair, I do coaching, I do life coaching, I do business coaching, I do websites. I mean, I was saying all the things. And he was saying to that person, all they needed from you was help with a website. But you went to taxes, nails, hair, toes. Yeah, you went to everything else. And now they forgot what you can actually help them with. And he said, at that moment, all you had to tell that person was the answer to their problem. What do you do at that moment for that person where you can solve their problem? And he said, what you did was you caused noise in their brain. And guess what happens? I'm going to try to type this now. A confused mind never buys. A confused mind never buys. And he was like, well, you know what? You just overwhelmed me. And if you overwhelmed me in this conversation, I don't think I need your services. So sometimes we don't even think about it like that, you guys. We think we're sharing a compelling statement or a compelling message when we're telling people all the things they don't even need. When all we had to do was share the simple statement of how we can help them at that moment. A confused mind never buys. And so I said, you know what? Bump that. I'm gonna stop confusing y'all. I'm only gonna talk about the one thing that I need to talk about right now at that moment. A confused mind never buys. If you picked up what I put down with this book, I want you to drop some $signs in the chat. Drop some $signs in the chat. All right. Now, the very next book is by him again. Listen, I need to go ahead and hit Donald Miller up and tell him to come to our community, because we be talking about him a lot. But the next book is by him as well, and it fully aligns with that book. Some of the things and topics overlap, but he goes into just a little bit deeper, not really deep, because it's still very simple and practical. That's why I love his books. It's straight to the point, very clear. But he goes into how also to communicate in this book right here when it comes to like emails and web pages and things like that. So I really love Donald Miller. So if you are a new fan of him as well, you definitely want to read this book too. Okay. Did any of that just help you guys at all? I know we're just talking about books, but I want to share with you guys why or what I got from some of these books and hoping they may help you. All right. And again, this book right here, once I finally made it to this book, you guys, this book right here, really, all it really did for me was, well, I got some things from it. You know, it really gave just a broad, well, of course it says it's the 22 immutable laws of marketing, right? Violate them at your own risk. And what it really did was just pinpoint the 22 top things that you need to know, right? But it talks, excuse me, but it talks about it in a way that for me at the time, again, that just confirmed a lot of the things I had started learning at the time, right? And so this is, again, a really, really good book, especially when you need it from a different perspective. But also this is, this right here gives it to you. I would say Donald Miller is more about personal brand, like your story. Those books about to Donald Miller. This one right here is for those who are building sales pages, who really want to make sure like on their websites and things like that, everything aligns, right? And that you're speaking to your audience directly, okay? But it's really, really good because again, you want different perspectives. You don't want it from one perspective because you're marketing to several different people. You're marketing to one person. Remember, we're focusing on one person, but you also got to remember that one person represents the tens and thousands of people out there. So when you're able to understand it from multiple perspectives, you're able to communicate to the right people the right way. Okay. So that's what that book did for me. The next book is How to Write Copy That Sells. Again, most people think marketing is something different than what it really is. People be like, I just need a marketing and branding person. Well, no, not really. What you need is to understand who you are, who you serve, and how you're going to serve them. And you need to start learning them. So when you do bring on a marketing agency, when you do bring on a social media manager, when you do bring on someone to do your content, you're able to communicate with them what they need to know to do their job. Watch this, because some of y'all may not, I hope y'all picked up what I just put down. Because some people just want to buy, not buy, but pay somebody to do the work and then get mad when they don't get extra followers, making extra money, don't get extra traffic or extra sales. Why? Because you didn't do the work first to understand what you truly offer to your audience, or to even really learn your audience and how you communicate with them to allow a social media manager, to allow a marketing agency, to allow those people to do their job. Not saying they can't pull it out of you, but I am one of those people, is I believe as a boss, as a person who says their purpose to truly serve people, you got to know some of this stuff for yourself. Does that make sense? You got to pull some of this up out from the inside of you. You got to do the work to pull the core of it out of you. So now you can say to these agencies, to these social media managers, to who all these people you want to hire to do the work, You got to say, that meme don't align with my audience. No, that color doesn't connect. No, that doesn't sound like me. No, that doesn't sound like them. All that generic stuff will keep you broke. If you pick it up what I'm putting down, drop a 100 in the chat. So this book right here, what it did for me, it helped me start writing my emails, start writing my posts, start writing things to where I am fully communicating to my audience to where they can receive it and then they can see themselves in it and say, that's me, or I need that. If you're just writing because you think this is how this English paper is supposed to be written, or this is how this post is supposed to be written, or it sounds so corporate-y and all of that, but it has no personality, it does not sound like you, and it's not relatable to your audience, again, you're writing to a brick wall, and we don't have time for that, right? Everything we're doing now, you guys, is intentional. If nobody told you before you made it to this challenge or before you start working with somebody like me, we have to be intentional about everything that we do. Period. Nothing is meaningless. Not how we write our posts, not how we write our emails, not how we communicate. And the reason why a lot of people don't hit 6 and 7 figures in their business is because they don't know how to communicate. Communicating is one of the top things you have to do and learn. And if you don't know how to communicate, that's what marketing is. Marketing is finding a way to communicate with your audience for them to buy, to connect, to relate, to transform. All right. So that's what this book did for me. It helped me start writing more intentionally. Okay. Now, this book, I always got to be honest too, y'all. I got to be honest. This book right here, it was kind of boring to me. I'm just going to be real. The Blue Ocean Strategy, how to create uncontested market space and make the competition relevant. And so what I mean is kind of boring to me. Just the author really just didn't speak my language per se. It wasn't as simple and practical as like a Donald Miller book. Now, it was still good for what it was, right? But the reason why I still share it, even though it was kind of boring for me, it may not be boring to you though, right? So don't take my perspective as your perspective, okay? Our brains function differently. Some of us like fiction, some of us like nonfiction. Hey, it may be good for you. I just want to give my honest opinion on how it was for me. Okay. And for me, the flow of it just wasn't my favorite as some of the other books. However, the reason why I'm still sharing it with you guys for marketing purposes, because just because something is boring, that don't mean you don't need it. Just because something doesn't read the way you normally read along with stuff, that doesn't mean you don't need it. This book was still needed because what it does is it shows you or educates you on how to separate yourself in the marketplace, how to dominate. Remember, that was our word, right? Dominate in the marketplace. And Angie could have just been because that probably wasn't really where I was at that moment, because Angie said it was interesting to her, right? For some people, it was interesting. But sometimes certain things are just not interesting to you at that moment because you're not reading where you are, right? And I think I was just adding another read to my list and I didn't need it at that moment. So that could have been it too, right? So, but yes, it is very necessary because we got to separate ourselves from our competitors. We have to create a space for ourselves. We have to niche down to where we stand out, and we got to have a focus. And that book is all about that. And it goes over stories and strategies and everything that can assist you along the way. All right. Now, one of the topics that we're going to be covering on one of our days with the 10-day challenge is something we have been planting seeds about the whole entire time is storytelling. Storytelling. And I want y'all to type it here because I know I had you guys type it in other places too, but I want you to type it here as well. And I want you to type, I will become, or I will be a master storyteller. I will be a master storyteller. And some of you guys are saying, I am a master storyteller, right? Because some of you guys are just learning. So you're like, oh, well, shoot, I'm going to be one. Because now you're telling me I got to be one. I'm going to be one. But some of you guys are saying, I am a master storyteller. So I tell myself I am a master storyteller because I still learn. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. Told you I'm not y'all guru, right? But I'm just sharing with you where I am, where I was, and what has worked for me. Okay. And this book right here, I'm going to be honest. I told y'all it's about honesty, right? I'm going to be honest. This book right here, y'all, sat on my shelf for a long time. It sat in on my shopping list for a long, long, long time. Because it just looked a little boring to me at first. It looked a little boring to me at first. And I was like, I don't know if I want to read this, right? Man, when I read this book, it became one of my favorite books. Because what it did, it opened up my eyes to storytelling. I mean, it goes over like prominent speeches and why they created mass movements, why like Steve Jobs had such like a high turnout and turnover with Apple. I mean, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God. So I done read it multiple times. But y'all, if looks was deceiving, I don't know what it was about this book when I looked at it and read some of the stuff, but I was like, but watch this though. Watch this. What had happened was I felt like my storytelling skills sucked. And so one day it was time for me to go ahead and open up another book. And I was like, you know what? I'm just, even though it seemed like it may be boring, I don't know why my spirit felt that way. I wouldn't say my spirit, my flesh felt that way because my spirit would have told me right. When I read it, I couldn't put it down. Okay. So that is one of my favorite books. And I can't wait for y'all to read it. Now, I put 2 books on this screen. I won't say these are my favorite books, but they are really good and very practical, especially if you are a person who market on social media. These books by Gary Vee. While I'm not a full Gary Vee fan, back in the day, he was one of the individuals that was really killing it online. So when I read these years ago, he did give a first perspective of how to really just show up on social media and how to convert on social media. And one of the things I also loved about these books, Crush It and Crushing It, was simply because he really talks about getting out of your own way. And some of you really need to get out of your own way, especially when it comes to marketing and communicating and showing up on social media. We have to feel the fear and do it anyway. You have to forget the people. And when I say forget, bump them people, right? Bump those people that you're afraid to fail in front of. Like, you got to stop being afraid to fail publicly. And I'm not saying that you will fail publicly. I'm saying you got to get over the fear of failing publicly. Because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to fail. You're just an individual who is going after what really matters. And yes, there's trial and error, but there's no such thing as failure unless you give up. Right? Yes, give, gave, asked. Come on. So, but that's why I love these books, because it helps you get out of your own way and it allows you to see social media from a different perspective. And some of you guys need that right now, because a lot of you don't understand how to use these platforms properly. You got to learn how to use these platforms properly. And if you don't, then you're not going to be able to master them and convert on them. And when I say convert, it's not just sales, but gain followers, gain people who want to hear what you got to say. And that's what I love about those. All right. All right. Now, the other day, I believe it was day 4. Remember, we had one of my really good friends and mentors on with us, and his name was Antonio Thornton. And so let me ask you guys, for those of you who attended that, what was the main thing? What was the number 1 thing Antonio told y'all had to have? What did he tell y'all had to have? I'm going to wait. We're going to pause. I know there's a small delay, but I need to see if anybody's going to give the answer. He said, no books, no websites, no look. I mean, he crossed everything off y'all list. Okay. And he said, there's one thing that y'all need in order to start dominating. There we go. Come on, Stephanie. I knew somebody was going to say it. You need an offer. There we go, Selena, an offer. Why did he say you need an offer? Because the offer is your solution to your audience problem. They already got a problem. Now you just need to figure out how you're going to package it up and give it to them so you can solve it. Offers. So this book right here, you guys, is so good because it goes over how to create an irresistible offer. So this book was a game changer for me because it just helped me look at offers and packaging and really just being able to communicate with a person quickly. One of the stories I love in here is the story of Domino's Pizza. How many of you guys, look, we may be telling our age. How many of you guys heard about, I remember back in the day when Domino's was like, if we can't get our pizza to your door in 30 minutes or less, it's free. How many remember that? And we used to be counting down like, okay, it's 4 o'clock. They better be here with my pizza at 4:30 or it's free. Baby, you wanted them to get here at 4:31, especially with, look, we lived in the projects. We were like, 4:31, it's free. You made it here late. Give me my food free. And back then, there was no online orders. So you paid with cash. So listen, they weren't getting that cash if they wasn't there on time. But anyway, I love because it shared certain stories of how people were able to communicate their offers or communicate their leads and certain things on the front end to get people in quickly, very quickly. And that was the point. Look, y'all talking about me? Somebody say, I remember. It was an old thing. So again, this book was a game changer for me with that. I freaking love this book. It's one of the ones that you need to read at least once to 2 years just to stay abreast of what's going on. Even though the industry shifts just a bit, some of these things in here are just super valuable and they don't ever change. Okay. Is this good so far, y'all? Has this helped? Let me know in the chat. Let me know. All right, another book, which is similar, I won't say it's similar, right? It's not similar, but when you get to marketing and when you start talking about marketing and start learning or trying to understand more so about it, when you realize everything really is the same, right? It's the same things, just communicated differently depending on who's communicating it. Or with some of these marketing books, you have the author or the person that's sharing, they're really just more so talking about their sweet spot, right? And so one of the things about the Sales Bible, even though, you know, some of you guys may be saying, well, this is not marketing. Well, sales is marketing, right? Because in order to get a sale, you got to be able to market. In order to market, you got to be able to, you're marketing to sell. Like it really, there's no separation of it. And so the Sales Bible, which is this, the Sales Bible is one of those books. Miss Gigi, I know that's you, honey girl. I know you, girl, when I see your name. But the Sales Bible is one of those books that what I love about the Sales Bible, it helps you focus on the way of thinking. To me, it centers around like how your prospects or your potential customers and clients think, right? It kind of walks you through that process of being able to know what they may say before even they say it. So you already know what you're going to say, or how you position a particular question, or how you position something so you can get the response from them that you're looking for, right? And it helps you truly communicate with your ideal client properly. So I really love this book because of that. To me, like the Sales Bible and the Irresistible Offer, they are like staple books that you should have in your collection, along with the Donna Miller. Donna Miller, though, for me, it's like for a beginner to really expand their mind on what marketing is. But when it comes to like marketing principles though, and being well-rounded, then that's the 22 laws of immutable marketing that I showed you at the beginning, this Sales Bible and the Irresistible Offer. Like you have to have those on your shelf if you are a person that's talking about marketing. There's so many more out there, but these books are it, okay? Next up is, again, one of my favorite books. I know you'd be like, how are these your favorite books? They're my favorite because they're favorites of mine because of different areas. So one is a favorite because it taught me how to begin copywriting. One is a favorite because it expanded my mind to think like a boss, not a worker. One is my favorite because it taught me how to structure my emails properly and communicate to my audience in a way that I couldn't before. You know, so this one right here, it taught me how to stop thinking so small, but also simplify as well. Stop doing so much, but doing what really counts. And this book, I gave to my whole entire team. I made my team read it. I made my team research it, my team, and we call this guy our cousin. I'm like, our cousin just released something else today, y'all, right? And it's not like he's doing anything so profound outside of like the Irresistible Offer. To me is more of a staple book. This is too, but he is so straight to the point, straight talk, no fluff, no chaser, to where he just kind of like gets you together with the principles and the steps to do so as well. So that's why I really love this book, $100 million Offers. And he just came out with a new one. I haven't read it yet. I just got it actually. It's somewhere here, but I haven't read it. But this is one of my latest favorite books. Okay. So I gave you guys 12 books. I just gave you all my top 12 books. There are more, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. I wanted to give you the simple, practical ways of starting this process. But I also wanted to remove the excuses of anybody saying they just don't know. Like, I don't know the books. I don't know where to start. I don't know this. I don't know that. Well, I just shared my personal journey with you in less than 30 minutes. Okay. So that is that. Before we end, what I want to know from those who are tuning in, so far, what do you believe or what do you think is going to be your very first book choice? Let me know what you think is going to be your very first book choice. I know you guys were like, I don't know, they were all. But if from something I shared or stated, what stood out to you, or which book stood out to you or you believe is where you are right now? Let me know in the chat. Andy said $100 million Offers is the beast. Yes, child. It is. It is. And what you see on the screen too is, again, I told you guys, I have a whole PDF and the PDF is clickable. So you're able to click on it and go straight to the links and things like that for yourself. Is right. Okay, Stephanie say build a story brand. Gigi say the one thing. Oh, yep, y'all starting off good. Them great starts. Those are great starts. Yes, I'm telling you, it's major, Gigi. I'm telling you that book. And when you read it, Gigi, let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know. I definitely want to hear your feedback. Okay. So again, I have this for you. For those of you who are in VIP, not only are you going to get this, I'm going to give you some of my other secret reads. So as y'all see how those are 3 blank spots on the other side. So you're going to get a bonus. You're going to get some bonus reads. Okay. And those bonus reads are some of my other top, really my real tops. Okay. But I had to make sure that y'all did get something exclusive. So for VIP, you'll have that. And again, you guys, once y'all get this PDF, it's going to be clickable for you as well. Okay. All right. And like I said, these are 12 books. So if you want to do 1 book a month, if you was really serious about changing your mindset, getting results and putting in the work, hey, you can do it here too. All right. If this helps you guys today, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. We got it done in under an hour. Okay, I see you, Trina. Oh. All right. And for those who probably missed it, I'm just going to go backwards real quick. Just a quick review. We did the $100 million Offers. We did the Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gadamer. We talked about the Irresistible Offer by Mark Joyner. We did Crush It and Crushing It by Gary Vee. We talked about the Storyteller's Secret by Carmen Gallo. We talked about the Blue Ocean Strategy by W. Chan Kim and Renee Morborgon. No, I probably butchered her last name, but forgive me. We talked about How to Write Copy That Sells, a step-by-step system for more customers for more sales and more customers more often by Ray Edwards. We talked about the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing by Al Reyes and Jack Trout. We talked about the Marketing Made Simple book, a step-by-step story brand guide for any business by Donald Miller. We talked about building a story brand, clarifying your message so your customers will listen by Donald Miller. And then last but not least, we talked about the one thing, the surprisingly simple truth behind extraordinary results, right? The surprising simple truth for extraordinary results by Gary Keller. All right. So again, if you're watching this in a replay, let us know in the chat which one you believe you're going to be starting off with, okay? Read where you are. Read where you are. Don't try to jump to $100 million offers because it says $100 million offers when you don't even know what you're going to focus on, or you don't even know how to create a one-liner. All right. So let me just share this real quick. I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna give y'all two things real quick, especially with what's coming up on day 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. If y'all ready for what I gotta say, type ready in the chat. I just gotta share something with you guys real quick, like share something with real quick. Because one of the things we're gonna talk about is leads, right? We're gonna talk about leads. And that's one key thing about marketing. We're gonna be talking about leads. And this right here is what you would consider a lead. I just shared my links with you. I'm sharing my books. I'm sharing links with you and all of that. But this also could be what we call a lead magnet or a lead for people who may be looking for marketing, who may be looking to expand and grow their businesses. So we're going to be talking about that for you too. Like, how are you going to be attracting people to your business, right? Okay, but now let me go back to what I was going to say earlier. Some of these are some of the simple, practical ways of really marketing and growing your business. So I don't want you to skip over some of these things. I don't want you to go to $100 million offer when, again, you don't know how to clarify your message. When you haven't focused on one product, you haven't focused on your target audience or your ideal client, right? And you can't even say what it is that you do in one sentence. But then more importantly, you don't have the steps listed out of how you get a person from one side of the mountain to the other, how you get them from one side of the road to the other, how they're going to go through these 10 steps to successfully get what you promised or what they paid for. So a lot of those things are what matters first, so that you can then now position or figure out how you're going to offer them what you're going to offer them. How you really going to be able to market to them what you promise. All right. If you just picked up what I put down, drop some dollar signs. Because I don't want y'all to be skipping and saying, oh, let me get to this marketing strategy when you haven't even figured out how to say what you do and who you do it for and how you're going to do it. Because if you can't say it, then 9 times out of 10, you can't prove it. And if you can't prove it, then you have nothing to market. All right. So that's why we're doing this. Okay. But that's it, you guys. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining us. If you're in VIP, I'll see you guys in a couple of hours. And so we can talk about this more. If you have any questions about which book you should start with, then we can talk about that in VIP. Okay. And the rest of you guys, I will see you tomorrow at 6 a.m.